Available on highways or flight service frequencies. Taxiway Alpha between Charlie and Delta, close to aircraft wingspan greater than 200 feet. Advise on initial contact. You have information Romeo.
Okay, can you hear me?
Tower information Romeo.
All right. Just have the mic right up to your lips so I can hear you loud and clear.
Wind 230 at 07.
No.
Visibility 10.
Check your plugs down on the left there.
Temperature 31.
See if you're plugged in.
2.13. Altimeter 3005. Pressure altitude -17. Expect visual approach runway 16. Departing runway 16. Attention all aircraft. Hazardous weather information for Northeast region available on highways or flight service frequencies. Taxiway Alpha between Charlie and Delta, close to aircraft.
There we go.
That better?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, good. I can hear me too.
Good. Yeah. If you can't hear yourself through your own ears, then I can't hear you.
Romeo. 1756 Zulu observation. Wind 230 at 07. Visibility 10. Few clouds 25,000. Temperature 31. 2.13. Altimeter 3005. Pressure altitude -17. Expect visual approach runway 16. Departing runway 16. Attention all aircraft. Hazardous weather information for Northeast region available on highways or flight service frequencies. Taxiway Alpha between Charlie and Delta, close to aircraft wingspan greater than 200 feet. Advise on initial contact. You have information Romeo. Portsmouth Tower information Romeo.
Alright, so we got information Romeo. So that's just the weather.
Yep.
The information Romeo just means that we listen to it, so I tell them I have Romeo. The way that this works, usually. So we'll go out to the runway. I'll do the takeoff and the landing. Once we get to a safe altitude, you'll take over. I'll give you kind of, basic turns, climbs, descents, and we're going to kind of see some local spots at the same time. We'll start with making a left turn out, going to York. Fly around like Cape Natick, Nubble Light, and we'll shoot up the beach, go over like Hampton. All right. Portsmouth Ground, RB266 Victor Alpha, November hangars ready to taxi with Romeo.
RB266 Victor Alpha, Portsmouth Ground, runway 16 at Bravo taxi via November Alpha Bravo.
November Alpha Bravo for 6 Victor Alpha. And as you probably have noticed so far, steer the airplane on the ground with the feet. This doesn't do anything on the ground, really. So we're going out here to the end, making a right, and then the first left up here on Bravo. This is taxiway Alpha, so this goes end to end of the runway.
Okay.
Runway's over 11,000 feet long. We don't have to use all of that, obviously. Since we're such a small airplane, we only use about a couple hundred feet.
Charlie, we're looking for our clearance to Teterboro. We're not scheduled out until the top of the hour. Hopefully it'll be up now.
Talk 3430 Charlie Ground, I do have it, and you're cleared to the Teterboro Airport. P3 departure. Hannah, that's Hotel Alpha, November Alpha, Albany, that's Alpha Lima Bravo. Victor 489 to Cope, that's Charlie Oscar Alpha Tango Echo, direct. And maintain 3000, expect flight level 180, 5 minutes after departure. Squawk 2066.
Request Teterboro, P3, Hannah, Albany, Victor 489 to Cope, then direct, climb maintain 3000, 180, 5 minutes after departure, and 2066 on the squawk, 30 Charlie.
Hawk 30 Charlie, read back correct.
Alright, so here's the runway right up here. We're going to stop before these red blocks. That's the hold short line, can't cross that unless if we have clearance. So we stop here and this is where we'll run through our before takeoff checklist. We're making sure everything's running as it should for the takeoff in our flight. So we start with checking our flight controls, making sure everything moves as it should. Includes the ailerons and the elevator, the stabilator back there, and then the rudder.
Yeah, 4 Charlie Alpha,
Also
4
moves.
Gun.
Alright, we'll bring the canopy down.
On Quebec, awaiting,
Fuel is on, ignitions are on. We hold this up to 4,000. 4,000 RPM is what we're looking at here. Verify everything runs in the green.
16 taxi via Alpha and
Battery's low, which is okay. That's charging at 11:12, so it's going to end up being in the green shortly. We check the ignitions.
Yeah, so you can do the run up on Bravo or Charlie.
thank you.
4 Charlie Alpha.
We're looking at the RPM drops that occur when we turn off the individual ignition systems.
Bravo.
Battery's in the green now.
4 Charlie Alpha, Roger. 916 at Bravo.
Everything else is good. For our landing light on.
Again, you can do the run up on taxi.
Light discharge in our amps. The amps are positive though. Everything's green. Bring it back to idle. This stuff will go yellow again, which is normal. We're ready to go. Ready?
Yep, let's
Cool.
do it.
Portsmouth Tower, RV266 Victor Alpha 1, hold short 16 Bravo for a left turn out to the east.
RV6 Victor Alpha, Portsmouth Tower, Roger. Continue holding short departing traffic.
Holding short 16 Bravo, 6 Victor Alpha.
RV6 Victor Alpha, runway 16 at Bravo, wind 220 at 8, clear for takeoff, left turn out approved. Previous departing traffic now over departure end.
Clear for takeoff, runway 16 Bravo, left turn out approved, traffic in sight, 6 Victor Alpha. Alright, let's get the fan on.
Go back to radar.
Kind of 77 contact Boston.
Alright, so we line it up. We got about 4,000 feet of runway here. Still using the feet to steer the airplane. Speed's alive, gauge is green, and we use the nose up. The wind is out of the right, so the nose will shift slightly to the right. It'll be a little choppy up until we get out over the water. If at any point you have questions, concerns, don't like what's going on, let me know. I'll address them as the best I can.
Okay.
Definitely, just any questions you have, just spit them right out. You live in this area?
Keep straight. I live in Rye.
Oh, okay. Well, we can fly out that way and then make a left turn. You near the water?
On the water.
On the water?
Yep. How many hours do you have in the air?
About 3,000.
Pretty good.
Good portion of my life.
You get tired of it?
Oh, I love it. It's so fun.
What's your favorite aircraft
That I've flown,
Yeah.
or just in general?
that you fly?
That I really love these. If I could get any airplane though, it'd probably be a Cessna 182. And they're just, to me, they're just the perfect airplane. They do everything well.
Yep.
See your house?
Well, I can see Wallace Sands, and we're just we're north of that.
Okay. I'll dial back the power. We'll level off right about here. Out till we're over the water. So the airplane's very sensitive. It's very light on the controls.
Right. Okay.
So really, like any movement, it responds immediately. You just fly it. You're going to fly it with your left hand, and you're just going to take a couple fingertips and just maneuver it. So go ahead and do that now. And if it goes into a right turn, then you come out of it, and it's easy to manipulate.
RV 6 Victor Alpha, frequency change approved, yeah.
Frequency change approved, yeah.
It is.
See it? Yeah, and we'll just follow the coastline to the northeast.
Number 724, Charlie Alpha, Portsmouth Tower, runway 16 at Bravo, wind 240 at 8, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff on Bravo, 416. 724 Charlie Alpha.
Alright, and if you look at your screen here, this is our speed.
Yeah.
We're going about 93. Our altitude, about 1,600.
Yeah.
Then our heading, go northeast at 057. And then all your engine gauges are here. The direction of the wind is down here, so it's out of the southwest at about 12 knots.
Okay.
Outside temperature here. Pretty neat system. So just a ton of information in here. Over here is the moving map. It's all touchscreen, so you can just kind of drag and go wherever you want. If you want to go to an airport, you only have to click it, and then press direct to, and it puts a line right on your screen and boxes to fly through that bring you right to it.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
It shows traffic as well, so you can see there's a couple other airplanes out here around this way. It'll have weather as well, live weather. It looks like a usual weather map. Anything down there, so like that. That just all disappeared as I zoomed in on it. Oh well.
This is actually a lot more automated than I was anticipating.
Yeah. I mean, flying the airplane is still all, there's really nothing that helps you with that.
Right.
But all of this just increases your situational awareness.
Right.
And that's the most important thing with being a pilot and flying is you have to know everything that's going on around you.
Exactly.
You have to fly the airplane 200, 300 feet ahead. If you're behind the airplane, you're going to screw up.
Yep. Makes sense.
So Nubble Light is straight off the nose there.
Yep.
We're going to go right out to Nubble Light. I'm going to have you do a 360 around Nubble Light.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of go out towards like the Cliff House, Ogunquit area,
okay.
and then loop back down the coast towards Hampton. And feel free to get a feel of the airplane, wiggle it around, do some turns, see how it responds. Put your feet on the pedals too, so you can kind of feel what's going on down there. The whole idea with the pedals is you're trying to keep that ball centered.
Right.
All right. So when you go into a right turn, you'll use just a smidge of right rudder. If you're rolling out of a right turn, you're going to take that rudder back out.
Okay.
Same thing with the left. Are you more interested in doing sport or private?
Private.
Private, good. I always try and convince people to do private. You're just not restricted. You know, as a sport pilot, you're restricted on what you can fly, how long you can fly, and how many people you can fly, how fast you fly. So it's best just to have the freedom of the private.
So what is the license after private?
So after private is then commercial. What most people do, they'll get private and then they'll get an instrument rating. So a rating is not the same as a license.
Right.
So most people get a private, then they get an instrument rating, and that allows them to fly in really any weather condition. So like now, I mean, this is a perfect day.
Yeah, there's no clouds.
Yeah, but if there were clouds, we'd have to remain 500 feet below them.
Right.
If we were to be on top of them, we have to remain 1,000 feet above them. And if we're flying through them, we have to stay 2,000 feet away from them laterally. And so you're restricted more on how close you can fly to weather. Whereas this instrument, you can go right through it and not have to worry about it.
And max altitude is, what is it, 5,000?
For us?
Yeah.
No, 18,000. So above 18,000 is Class Alpha airspace, and you have to be IFR to fly in Class A.
Okay.
The airplane won't actually get that high. It'll only get to about 12,000.
Yeah.
But we are allowed up that high if the airplane's capable. There's Nubble Light, the backside of Nubble Light, which many people get to see.
Right.
Number 4, Charlie Alpha, frequency change approved too.
Just continue doing just the 360 around it.
Okay.
And when you come back out to this heading, we'll go out to the Cliff House.
Good afternoon, helicopter 827 Sierra Charlie is at Seacoast, and we have Romeo. We'd like to depart to the north.
Helicopter 827 Sierra Charlie, reports on tower, taxi up to and hold short of Alpha.
Up to and hold short of Alpha, 7 Sierra Charlie.
Good. Now you can just kind of parallel the coast here.
Approach the tower, Mooney, Charlie Golf, Papa Foxtrot 0 at Bravo when ready.
Charlie Golf, Papa
At the Cliff House now?
Yep.
After renovation, yep.
Yep.
Hold short for Papa Foxtrot.
Charlie Golf, Papa Foxtrot, Sierra, Portsmouth Tower, runway 16 at Bravo, wind 230 at 7, clear for immediate takeoff, traffic below us on a 3-mile final.
Okay, clear immediate takeoff, Papa Foxtrot.
This is pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty up here. Nice and smooth over the water too. It's a little bumpy over the land. That's just from all the rising heat off the ground.
Right.
But over the water, it's nice though, real smooth. You liking it so far? Obviously.
I'm doing cartwheels. Yeah. Great.
77, expect possible go around.
77.
I did a great job in that hotel.
77, you're still clear for the option on the go. Left close traffic approved.
Left close traffic, 77, thank you.
Perkins Cove.
Yep. This is such a pretty area to fly around. You have a beautiful coastline, plus you can be in the mountains in 20 minutes.
Right.
Be buzzing over Lake Winnipesaukee.
How long to Winnipesaukee?
What was that?
How long would it take to get to Winnipesaukee?
From our current position, it would take 20 minutes.
Are we going south?
Yeah, so you're gonna loop back around, follow the coastline back the other direction. You're doing a great job holding altitude. Usually that's the hardest part.
And 77, starting left.
You're probably not even trying.
Well, I
Glance at it.
I can, well, yeah, I do. But I can orientate the plane, I feel the altitude.
Yep.
Charlie Golf, Foxtrot, Papa Sierra, Twin Exchange approved.
Say again, Papa Foxtrot?
Contact Boston approach at 125.05.
2505, Papa Foxtrot.
Tucker 343 Sierra Charlie on departure. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain 3000, runway 16 at Charlie, wind 15, correction 250 at 6, clear for takeoff.
We'll fly run. 3 Sierra Charlie.
Kind of 77 squawk VFR.
7.
So fully fueled, this craft about 4 hours?
Yeah, comfortably 4 hours.
I might have to get one of these things.
Yeah? They are nice. I really enjoy flying these planes. Really, like any RV is a pretty good buy. If I were to get an RV, it'd probably be like an RV7 and an RV9, just because those are like fully aerobatic. So you can go out and you can do loops and rolls and spins all day long, and you know it's fully legal.
Right.
Whereas in these you can't.
But the frame's not built for that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, these are built for flight training, and you know it has more of the materials. The beefiness of it is more in like the landing gear, because that's what's going to be abused the most.
Right.
Continue
Sure.
holding short, expect a 3-minute delay from a small plus departure.
Could we waive that, please?
Helicopter 7 Sierra Charlie, you sure can. Alpha taxiway, beam November, wind at 250 at 7, clear for takeoff, caution wake turbulence.
Clear for takeoff, 7 Sierra Charlie.
Number 3 Sierra Charlie, contact Boston departure.
3 Sierra Charlie, good day.
Cross 41, you up on freak?
Cross 41's ready to go.
Cross 41, ports and tower, runway 16 at Charlie, wind 240 at 8, clear for takeoff.
For takeoff at Charlie, Cross 41.
And Colonel 77 is left base, okay for us.
Colonel 77 affirmative, check wheels down, runway 16, wind 240 at 8, clear for the option. Traffic is applauded, departing runway 16 at Charlie.
Good for the option, got the company in sight, 77.
So you're looking to get into this just for fun or business as well? I have some people that kind of back and forth.
Well, it might graduate into something.
Yep.
It's purely for enjoyment and fun.
Good, good.
Fly a lot, travel a lot.
Yeah. What do you
like
do?
to be able to do it. What do I do?
Yeah.
this. Whatever I want to do, really.
Good. I had one student of mine that got into this just for fun, just wanted to kind of buzz around the area.
Yep.
And then he started asking the questions, you know, like how long would it take me to get to New York? How long would it take me to get to Connecticut?
Yep.
And then he realized that it's actually like a viable option for him to use it for business, because those are like his main places that he travels to.
Sure.
And so now he wants to get a Cessna 182, which I obviously am slightly biased and kind of told him to go that direction. And so then he's like trying to find a 182 to buy so he can make that happen.
For long flights, it would be great. You know, I spend a lot of time in Portland.
Okay. That's a pretty short flight. That's only about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then pre-flight and drive to the airport, and then, you know, it ends up being the same amount of time that I can drive.
Pretty much, yeah.
But this is way more fun.
You also get to avoid the traffic.
Yeah, true.
If you're going on like a Sunday afternoon or a Friday afternoon, right? Get to avoid the traffic. All you have to worry about is just your transportation from the airport, from wherever you're going.
Exactly.
That's why Uber exists.
And family.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
How do you fly to the Boston area often? What's that air traffic like? What are the restrictions? Or
so I don't really go like near Boston, but I go to Beverly.
Okay.
That's one of our training airports, and it gets busier, and you can't go into the Bravo airspace. So if you look on here, this blue, all this blue airspace is Bravo, and you have to have clearance into it.
Right.
All right. But it starts at different altitudes. So this outer ring here is at 3,000 feet.
Yep.
If you're below 3,000 feet, you don't have to talk to anybody.
Okay.
But it gets tighter the closer you get, 2,000 feet surface. All right. So you just contact them, you know, a few miles outside of that airspace, and tell them you want to transition to whatever airport or whatever direction, and they'll either direct you around it or direct you through it, or give you an altitude where you won't conflict with their traffic.
Right.
But basically, they will control you.
Right.
You just do what they tell you.
Sure.
So it's really not that bad, and they'll tell you of traffic and everything, so you don't need to be like on high alert. You raise your alert a little bit, but you don't have to be like paranoid looking for airplanes. They will spot them out for you.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you where to look.
It's like any major airspace.
Yeah.
Large city.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much every large, major city has an airport that contains a Class Bravo.
And this will be a full stop for Colonel 77.
Colonel 77, roger.
And through your training, you get comfortable talking on the radio. You talk to these guys a ton. When you do cross countries, you'll talk to Boston approach and departure. The whole idea is that you get comfortable with an instructor instead of trying to do it on your own.
Sure.
So you're going to screw up and you're going to say things wrong and whatever, and that's why the instructor is there to correct that stuff,
right?
So that it doesn't become a habit. As you can probably tell, we have sort of our own lingo. We talk very specific, almost like in a cadence.
Sure.
So it just talking on the radio is a learning curve.
Helicopter 7 Sierra Charlie, frequency change approved, yeah.
Thank you. Have a good day. 7 Sierra Charlie.
Unfortunately, I spent some time in the military.
Good.
Both in the Air Force and the Marine Corps. So.
Good. That'll help a little bit. Thank you for the service.
You're welcome. Right down the coast?
Yep. Yeah, we're going to go around Hampton Beach now. It's that kind of curve that's up there.
You know, it's interesting. I watch all the planes fly by, most of the planes fly by, the smaller craft fly by my house, and I've never noticed. Is this white underneath, or is this green, this plane?
The underside is white.
The underside is white?
Yep.
Okay.
77, check wheels down, runway 16.
The front is green. The white in the back.
Yeah.
You're making me have to think about it now. Yeah, it's mostly white in the back, green up front. Yeah, it's not too often we come in like straight in to a landing this far out. Usually we come in over the city.
Yeah.
You know, you'll mostly see us in these airplanes just going up and down the coast.
Okay.
But there's so many airplanes that go up and down the coast, it'd be pretty difficult to spot us. Passing by it again?
There it is.
Which one is it?
It's, there's a car right off the wing. You can't see it now. It's just past it. Just see the red car, just past it. Love this place.
As you can tell, the airplane's pretty easy to control.
Right.
It responds very well.
It really does.
Not that you have anything to compare it with, but from experience, I can tell you it flies pretty well. Definitely better than like a Cessna 172.
Yeah.
They just take a little bit more work to fly.
A lot heavier.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has a yoke. So you're always kind of like hovering your arm up, whereas this is very comfortable. You just rest your wrist on your leg, and it's very comfortable to fly.
So how old is this aircraft?
So this one, I believe, is a 2014.
Okay.
I think the other one, 271, is a 2015.
Okay.
I know they're a year apart, so I'm almost certain this one's a 2014. And it has 837 hours on it, which is a pretty decent amount of time. But for a flight school aircraft, that's not a lot of time.
Correct, yeah.
But this actually used to be the owner's personal aircraft before he created the flight school. And then he started the flight school, bought the other RV, and he kind of had like a random assortment of airplanes. So he just kind of added all the airplanes to the flight school, and that's how it became to be. He just kind of he owned a bunch of airplanes that he just didn't fly anymore, and he wanted other people to fly them. There's Hampton Beach right up there. You can see Boston right off the nose on the horizon. Right now we're cruising about 4,600 RPM, burning about 4 gallons an hour. That gives us about 90 knots of speed.
Yeah.
You know, we can go 5,000 RPM, 5,200, and then it'll give us more like 110, 115 at 4.5 gallons. So the airplane's pretty like economical,
yeah.
pretty good on gas. There's packed Hampton Beach, as always.
And it's only Monday.
Right. Yeah, my first flight this morning at 10 o'clock, and we couldn't believe how many airplanes were flying. Usually Mondays are pretty quiet.
Sure.
You know, people are kind of getting back into work and whatnot, and it was an unbelievable amount of airplanes flying around. We were trying to do aerobatics, and we had to keep like stopping and looking for traffic before we could like go into our next loop or something. It was like we spent more time looking for airplanes than we did actually flying. That never happens on Mondays.
Well, it's pretty decent weather.
Yeah, it was
great
beautiful.
Visibility.
And I mean, right now it's quiet. There's only 2 airplanes to our south, and then there's really not a whole lot else around here. People kind of avoid the heat of the day just because it gets bumpier, it's hot.
Right.
So that's probably why it was so busy this morning. Everyone's getting their flying in. All we can do is make a right turn, go right up the inlet here, go by Seabrook Power Plant.
Okay.
Just bring the nose up just a little bit.
Yep.
So what happens when you go into a turn, you actually lose lift because you're dissecting your vertical lift with a horizontal component when you go into a turn. So you have to add just a little bit of back pressure with the stick to keep the nose up so it doesn't descend while in the turn. Now that we're back over the land, you can feel the bumps. On these hot, clear days, we spend a decent amount over the water just because it is smoother. It's easier to go into the maneuvers. Otherwise, you're just chasing the numbers around as you're bouncing.
Right.
And what you can do, 95 is crossing right in front of our nose here. You can go ahead and make a left turn and follow 95 a little bit. Right now we're over Seabrook, coming up on Newburyport, which is right out there on about our 10 o'clock. This coming through here is the Merrimack River. Newburyport's right on the other side. Plum Island on the other side over there on the water, on the coast. That's my favorite area to fly around is Plum Island. Up to...
It's beautiful out there.
Yeah. Around Ipswich, going up to Rockport. I love that whole area. That's more of my home compared to this area.
Right.
That was probably a parking lot.
That was a parking lot?
Yeah, just a ton of hot
Black
air.
asphalt,
yep. Rising off the parking lot. Whenever you feel like you're getting lifted up from behind, it's almost like you're being pushed from behind. That's usually a pretty good sign of a strong thermal.
Portsmouth, hello, convoy 3282 is 10 miles to the east, passing 3000 visual to 16.
Convoy 3282, Portsmouth Tower, report a 2-mile left base for 16.
3282 will go.
There's downtown Newburyport right here. Alright, I can make a right turn, kind of go on the other side of 95 and just parallel it back to the northeast.
Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Can I just follow the highway?
Yep, we're just going to follow the highway back towards Portsmouth now.
Okay.
And once we get to about 101, we'll re-listen to the weather,
okay.
See if there's any changes, and we'll call in and set up for a landing. What sparked your interest in wanting to do this?
I've wanted to fly since I was younger.
Yeah.
Didn't think I had the means or the time or opportunity.
Yep.
I find myself with adequate time and plenty of opportunity and means, so.
Good.
3 mile left base for 1639 watts, full stop.
Convoy 32.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to be patient and wait for everything to line up and then jump right into it.
Way to land, 16, Conway 3282.
Did you go into the military hoping to do some flying, or not really?
No, I went into the military. I was kind of forced out of school. I didn't have enough money to finish education. I was going to Northeastern.
Okay.
And it's an option. But I did hope that, you know, at some point I would get a pilot's license. I wasn't going to fly jets, but...
Right, you'd hope it'd lead to that.
Yeah, exactly. At some point. And it has.
Yep, good. And what'd you do in the military?
I worked in food service when I was in the Air Force, and I was a general's aide in the Marine Corps.
Oh, cool. That doesn't sound so scary.
Neither one. Well, actually, neither one. Pretty easy.
I always considered doing something military, but I'm not really one for combat. If I were to do something combat, I would want it to be combat photographer. I think that would be a lot of fun. But I don't really foresee myself shooting anybody or anything.
Well, I have had, you know, I have a mixed emotions about military service and killing and death and yeah, it's.
Convoy 32.
You're probably
turn left.
you probably had a pretty good
left turn on Alpha,
spot then with what you did.
Oh yeah.
Roger, left up over.
That'd be something I would want to do. Not so much running around sweating, looking for people to shoot,
or avoiding people shooting you.
Right? Yeah, that doesn't seem like the way I want to live.
No.
6 Zulu observation. Wind 260 at 06. Visibility 10. Few clouds 20,000. Few clouds 25,000. Temperature 32. 2.15. Altimeter 3003. Pressure altitude +1. Expect visual approach runway 16. Departing runway 16. Attention all aircraft. Hazardous weather information for Northeast region available on highways or flight service frequencies. Taxiway Alpha between Charlie and Delta close to aircraft wingspan greater than 200 feet. Advise on initial contact you have information Sierra.
Portsmouth Tower, RV266 Victor Alpha 6.5 to the south inbound with Sierra full stop.
RV266 Victor Alpha, Portsmouth Tower, report turning right base, runway 16.
We'll report turning right base 166 Victor Alpha.
Tower, Conway 3282, you want to stay with you or switch ground?
3282, you can just remain this frequency, just turn in and right there, follow me.
Roger, we'll stay with you, we got the follow-up in 6.
You just kind of fly right to the center of the airport, and once we get a little bit closer, I'll tell you to go parallel to the runway. You'll make a left turn parallel, and that'll be our what's called downwind, and that's going opposite direction of the direction we're landing, setting up to land. can do is start...
Do we have anything on radar? Nope.
Nope. You can start descending down to 1100.
Okay.
So reduce a little bit of power. And if there were any traffic, they would tell us about it at this point,
okay,
since we're in their airspace. Alright, and then you can make a left turn to go parallel to the runway. Just bring the nose up just a little bit more.
Interesting this airport isn't used more.
Yeah. Like commercial-wise? Yeah. They always have a Legion. And they only go to Florida, so... Great if you want to go to Florida.
Yeah. And you're competing with Manchester, Boston, and Portland.
Right. Alright, I'll go ahead and take it back here. I got it. On, fuel's on. RV6 Victor Alpha is turning right base 16.
RV6 Victor Alpha, check wheels down, runway 16, wind 2507, clear to land.
Clear to land 16, RV6 Victor Alpha. Can we get a long landing, Bravo?
Long landing approved.
Long landing approved, 6 Victor Alpha, thanks. So I requested a long landing, which just means we land not at the beginning of the runway, we land more towards the middle.
Sure.
That way we don't have to taxi all the way back. We'll just fly most of it. And so the wind is still out of the right, so I'm going to end up landing with the right wing down to prevent it from drifting across the runway. I'm going left rudder, right aileron. That'll keep the right wing down, that'll prevent us from drifting. We can maintain directly over the center line. And then I can just make small adjustments to maintain over the center line. Just float it down. Right side stays down. And we give it some brake.
RV6 Victor Alpha taxi park via Bravo Alpha November this frequency.
Bravo Alpha November this frequency. Have a great day, 6 Victor Alpha.
You too.
Right, and that's it.
Thank you for that. That's great.
Get the fresh air. Landing light off, flaps are up. Trim, recenter the trim. Yeah, it really doesn't get old. It's fun.
I don't see how it could get old.
And every time you fly, it's different.
Oh,
You know,
of course, yeah.
the weather conditions are different. What's going on is different. And you can really go anywhere you want. It's funny, a lot of the older gentlemen that I used to fly with, I used to work at an airport in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Now I'd fly with them, and every 2 years you have to do what's called a flight review.
Yep.
And that's just going up with an instructor, getting a sign off to say that you're still good to fly. And they would just come out and they'd just be like, I just wanted to be good enough just to go take off, fly over my house, and come back and land. And that's literally all they do. They go up, they do a couple circles over the house, and they come back and land.
Wow.
And that's why they own an airplane. It's bizarre. It's like, well, you can go anywhere in the country, even out of the country, and you just circle around your house and call it a day. That's just, it doesn't get old for them. What they want to do.
What's the furthest you've flown?
So I've flown down to the Keys in Florida. I've flown to Western Michigan, and then down to Kentucky, then to Pennsylvania, up the Hudson River to Long Island,
Yep.
and then back up to Beverly. That was about, I think, 7 hours of flying in that one day.
Wow.
And that was only from Michigan to Kentucky to Pennsylvania.
What were you flying?
That was a Cessna 205. It's a 6-seater single engine.
Pretty awesome. These would look like they're fun to fly.
The 135s?
Yeah.
They're old. Those airframes, I think, are like 1960s.
Really?
Yeah. They upgraded the engines and the avionics and stuff, but the frame itself is a Boeing 707, which
Wow.
hasn't been made in who knows how long.
Sure.